Welcome, Chelsea Clinton. Hey, Chelsea Clinton. Go ahead, Joy.
Hey, Chelsea.
Joy.
So, your dad was the president who nominated the great Ruth Bader Ginsburg to the Supreme Court at your mom's suggestion, actually, I was reading. So how was your family feeling about her passing? I'm sure that everybody is sad. I think I heard your father talk about it on the TV the other day.
Yeah, I
What's
think,
going on?
we're both like so sad on a personal level. Very also worried kind of for our country. And so kind of it's just overwhelming, Joy, as we were talking a little bit before I came on. It's just, in a moment where there's already kind of so much to be kind of worried about and so much sadness as we kind of cross the threshold of 200,000 Americans, now who have died of COVID, with the passing of the great RBG, just a even more sadness and even more worry, as I think we're all feeling.
How concerned are you about who will replace Justice Ginsburg and I guess the impact it will have on important issues like healthcare and reproductive rights?
I'm so concerned. I mean, I'm concerned about the two issues you just mentioned, reproductive rights, especially given what President Trump has said about kind of looking, for someone who will repeal Roe v. Wade and effectively strip American women of the agency to make what we believe are the right reproductive health choices for ourselves and our families. I'm deeply concerned about healthcare. Given we have already a hearing date set for November, kind of on the Affordable Care Act. That the Supreme Court could effectively strip away healthcare in the middle of a pandemic when we should be strengthening the Affordable Care Act. I'm worried about voting rights. I'm worried about the environment. I'm worried about gun violence prevention. I'm worried about LGBTQ rights. I'm worried about civil rights. I mean, I'm worried about kind of everything I care about with the court in the balance.
Chelsea, you are a mother of three. I don't know if everybody knows that. And I hope it's okay. The last time you came on the show, we actually had a conversation about motherhood backstage that really resonated with me. I have actually never talked about my pregnancy on the show. I've been very private about it because when you come from families like ours, people are particularly cruel. And I just wanted to know how you juggle having three young kids, being so in the spotlight, so with your parents, because quite frankly, I need some advice right now.
Well, Megan, I've been thinking about you and everyone I know who's pregnant in this time where we're not able to kind of be with our friends, our families, our loved ones. And so, I hope that you still feel kind of all the support and love that I know kind of your family and friends and the View community has for you, even though you may not be able to kind of get all the hugs that kind of, I think, pregnant women especially need. I think about that question every day. Like, how do I protect my children, because my most important identity, with all due respect to my parents who I love, is as Charlotte, Aiden, and Jasper's mom, and yet also ensure that I'm raising them to be the good citizens and the good people that I want them to be. So we talk about COVID a lot. They're clearly aware of COVID because they have to wear masks all the time. They see their friends, as I'm seeing all of you, like through a screen. And try to talk to them about kind of why we think it's so important to be engaged, that we're not just citizens on election day, we're citizens every day, that sometimes they're going to hear people say mean things about, their grandma, their pop, that's what we call my dad, their mom, but that, they're going to have to make up their own minds for what they believe is true, what they believe isn't true, but that they know they're always loved. That's just what I tell them, Megan, like they're always loved. Because I think if you know they're loved, they're going to be able to be resilient and hopefully engage in the world from a place of love, regardless of whatever nastiness probably will come their way because of who their mom is and who their grandparents are.
You're doing a really good job. It's a good role model.
So, have we lost our sound?
Oh, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, so Chelsea, I for a minute I didn't, but I can now. So I want to ask you about the coronavirus. We heard on tape that President Trump admit that he wanted to publicly downplay the threat. of the pandemic when he spoke to Bob Woodward, even though he knew it was spread through the air and was going to be deadly. And then he lied to the American people and said, oh, it's going to disappear. America's about to hit the grim milestone of 200,000 lives due to COVID. How much do you blame him and his response or the lack thereof?
I blame him pretty fundamentally. I think it's unconscionable that he lied to the American public about COVID, that he has continued to lie to the American people, that he has such a blatant disregard for public health and kind of the advice from public health experts that's pretty uniform around things like masks, the continued importance of social distancing, how much safer it is to be kind of outside than inside, how important good ventilation is. I mean, things that we have known for months, things that certainly the president, as we now know, knew, or at least had been told in February, if not in January. So I blame him full stop. I also blame him for all that he's not doing now to help prepare for when the scientists have proven a vaccine is safe and effective at scale. I blame him for not kind of marshaling a real effort to kind of build kind of public confidence and demand for a vaccine that, again, is proven safe and effective. I blame him for not kind of building, an army of vaccine workers to administer that. I blame him for not having a, transparent national plan for how he's going to ensure that our frontline workers are vaccinated, that our elderly and medically compromised are vaccinated, and then how the rest of us are going to get vaccinated. So, Joy, I blame him, for lying to the American people, for continuing to kind of disparage science and public health advice, and for not helping to prepare and protect us today, including kind of prepare us for when we do have a vaccine. So I think there's a lot of blame for the president and his administration for where we are and where we should be.